Welcome to our video guide, which will show you how to enter into an NemID service provider agreement. The process is divided into 3 steps. First, you must order a company certificate. Then you must decide whatever you need to validate your users. And finally, you must enter into the NemID service provider agreement. We will now go through how to get started with ordering a company certificate. As a NemID service provider, you use the company certificate to initialize the NemID client in the production environment. If your company already has a company certificate for this purpose, you can skip this step. You must be a NemID administrator to order a company certificate via self-service for business NemID. Go to medarbejdersignatur.dk, select Selvbetjening, and log on using your NemID employee certificate. Click on Øvrige signaturer in the menu on the left and order a company certificate. Remember to write down the UID number of your company certificate. You will need it in steps 2 and 3. The UID number can be found in Self-Service for Business NemID under Øvrige signaturer, Administrer virksomhedssignatur. Your company certificate is free of charge when used in relation to the NemID service provider agreement. Send an email to faktura@danid.dk with your company name and company registration number no later than 5 days after you have ordered the NemID service provider agreement in step 3. Now you have to decide whatever you need to validate your users. If you do not need this service, proceed to step 3. If you need to validate your users, you must enter into agreement to use what is known as PID or ID for CPR services. Only companies within the public sector can use PID or ID CPR lookup. Companies within the private sector can get access to PID or ID and CPR match. To order PID or ID for CPR services, go to nets.eu/PID or ID. Click on Hent og udfyld, download and fill in the PID or ID CPR agreement form. Open the agreement form. Select which services you want. Fill in your company details. Designate a technical contact and a business contact. Provide details of your company's certificate, company registration number, and UID number. See how to find the UID number in step 1. When the agreement has been completed and signed, please upload the agreement via the online form when requesting the NemID service provider agreement in step 3. The process of ordering a NemID service provider agreement. This is done at nets.eu/tu-order. We will now go through the registration form for your order, point by point. First, you must fill in details about your company to become a NemID service provider. Note that your company registration number must be identical to that used to order the company certificate. Provide details of your technical contact. The technical contact will receive operational news and other technical information. Provide details of the business contact. This person will receive invoices, any changes to terms and conditions, and other business information. Choose your invoicing model. If you're a private company, please choose whatever you want to pay per session or per unique user. If you choose payment per session, you will pay each time NemID is used for your service. If you choose annual payment per unique user, you will pay a fixed amount per user. Public sector companies should not select an invoicing model. Choose Model C. In this guide, we have chosen payment per session. Now you will need to fill in your setup details. First, choose a friendly name. The friendly name is the name that will be displayed in the NemID client when users log on to your service. This could be, for example, your company name. The maximum length of the friendly name is 40 characters. Now enter your company registration number and UID number from your company certificate. See how to find the UID number in step 1. State whether you want to use PID or ID for CPR services. Upload the signed PID or ID CPR agreement from step 2. Now you need to fill in some test setup details. First, state whether you have a company certificate for the test environment. If your company has a company test certificate, specify the company registration number and UID number of the test certificate. If your company does not already have a company test certificate, select No. Then we will create the necessary certificate in our test environment for you to use to test the login client. The test certificates will be issued and sent to your technical contact. Now specify the IP addresses that are allowed to access the test environment. The test environment, including activation of test certificates, is protected behind a firewall. NemID has to open the firewall for IP addresses that are allowed to access this service. You may enter up to 10 IP addresses in relation to this request. If you subsequently need NemID to open the firewall for additional IP addresses, you will be invoiced for changes to the firewall. Finally, you need to accept the terms and conditions of the NemID service provider agreement. We encourage you to read the conditions before you accept them. Click on Bestill. Your request is now sent to NemID and you will receive a confirmation email with the NemID service provider agreement attached. When we have received your order, we will create the necessary accesses and test certificates and also whitelist your IP addresses. Your technical contact will receive an email with the relevant access points along with the activation password for the test certificate.